What's up, folks? Welcome back to the weekly live chat. I'm Shock Illusionist and Sperry, the anti-conjuror. We've sort of loosely been calling this the strange and unusual show, coming to you live from the studio here at AV Vegas in Las Vegas. These guys have hooked me up, my friends up, and a bunch of people that I know that have been on tours, whether you're a band, a DJ, or whatever, and they've helped me out in a lot of things as well, so they've been very kind enough to let me use this as the new streaming location. So big shout out to AV Vegas right out of the gate. Thank you for tuning in, everybody, and for watching. I really appreciate it. You guys are taking and spending a little bit of your time with me, and that means a lot. So if you don't mind, though, to help me out, as I put in the chat before we started, if you could just hit the thumbs up, hit the heart button in the chat little area box down in the lower right hand corner to let me know and let me see that you guys can see and hear me okay, and that all is good, and I really appreciate it. So right out of the bat, looks like everybody's giving me good thumbs up here. I think everything seems to be good on my end, so that means we can keep rolling and get right into it. So if you're not familiar with the show, Kristen Puchala, I'm going to be in Vegas in October. Oh, right on. Well, I'm not even going to say if. I'm just going to say it. If you are in Vegas on a Wednesday night, I will be doing my live show that is only exclusive to Las Vegas. It's called Black Magic Wednesday. We do it every Wednesday night at the coolest bar in Las Vegas. That is the Las Vegas Griffin. And so you can come and see, well, just let me see, Kristen Puchala, as long as you're 21, because it is in the secret back room of a bar. Jonathan Bryce is in the chat. I see you. Thanks for tuning in, man. He's seen the show. He's seen the show at the Las Vegas Griffin, so he knows. Jonathan knows. Bryce knows. He knows. So that's awesome. So hopefully I'll see you at the show when we come back. Hopefully sooner than later, because we actually still have not started doing shows at the Griffin just yet. But like I said, hopefully sooner than later. And I think that could be said about a lot of things right now. Hopefully everything is going to be happening a lot sooner than later. So as I was about to say, though, just a minute ago, I'm at work cooking chicken, brah. Well, all right, James Weber. That's cool. Chicken. All right. There was a joke I once heard about chicken, like if you're at a restaurant and they have pea soup or they have chicken, right? Or like chicken noodle or whatever. So it goes like this. The waitress is like, hey, what do you want? Feel free to use this if you're into this sort of thing. It's, spoiler alert, it's a bit dad joke style, but you go to order like the chicken noodle soup, right? And the lady, the waitress or whatever is going to be like, oh, well, we have these soups. What would you like? And you go, I'd like the chicken soup, please. That sounds pretty good. Or what else do you have? Oh, we have this, we have blah. And if they have pea soup, then you go, you know what? No, I'd like to try the pea soup. That sounds really good. Actually, no, you know what? Maybe chicken is better now that I think about it. No, but is it all fresh? Is everything really okay? Then you know what? Yeah. You know what? Never mind. Hold the chicken, make it pea. Right? You get it? Okay, that sucks. I know, but like I said, feel free to use that stupid joke if you ever order chicken soup. And if there's pea soup on the menu as well, if you want to mess with the waitress. I heard that from another magician named Terry Evanswood. Actually, that's who I initially and originally heard that from. So yeah, there you go. Whatever. Let's move on. Moving on, like I said. But speaking of being back doing shows and stuff like that, as I mentioned, hopefully sooner than later, we'll be back doing Black Magic Wednesday here in Las Vegas at the Griffin. And besides that, Mark Bennick in the chat, loved that little hold the chicken, make it pea gag. You can use it in your show, Marky. I thought it was going to be an Exorcist joke. Kate Swanson. No, not an Exorcist joke. But speaking of also being back on the road and tickets and shows and stuff, we are starting to release more information about my next tour. New show that I've been designing and working on. We're calling it Distorted Sorcery. It's the Distorted Sorcery Tour. Right now, coming to Germany, you can see the graphic right there that has certainly disturbed plenty of people so far. But so far, the response has been good. Hopefully you guys like the look of the new poster design. It's called Distorted Sorcery. Right now, tickets are officially on sale for the Germany dates. When I'm coming to Germany, you can get your tickets at eventim.de. Those of you that are coming and tuning in from Germany in the chat, there you go. Distorted Sorcery, coming to Germany. Whoops, let's back it up, Sparrows. There we go. Okay, so starting, in 2021. That's the kind of reality of what we're at right now. Signing my first contracts of my upcoming tour is going to be im Herbst 2021, starting in northern Deutschland. So, Hunter, you always ask, Hunter Bivens, you coming to Atlanta? The closest I get to Atlanta is when I'm passing through at the Delta Sky Club. Unfortunately, I haven't been back to Atlanta in a minute, but if and when I do come back to Atlanta, I know you're going to be there, and you know what? You've been such a great fan over the years and a supporter. I'll give you a free ticket and a pat on the head. So there you go. Laughing Kahuna. Paul Kozak is in the chat. Everybody, Laughing Kahuna. Check him out on Twitch. Laughing Kahuna. That's Paul Kozak. You can also learn more about him at konakozi.com. There you can learn more about his show that's going down in Hawaii, or however you're supposed to say it, Hawaii. I don't know. He's on the big island there, Kona. Check it out. He also has a very cool little tiki gallery that you can check it out. Kate Swanson, need to come to New England. You know, I love coming to New England. I love coming to the East Coast. I love lobster rolls. I'm addicted to lobster rolls. A great sandwich. It's not even a roll. It's just in like a rolled thing, I guess. I don't know. I don't make them. But yeah, so Distorted Sorcery, you can find more info and tickets at eventim.de, and you can find out more about my Black Magic Wednesday show by going to dansperry.com or blackmagicwednesdays.com. And even if I'm not doing the show, if you're in Vegas, not on a Wednesday, always be sure to check out the Las Vegas Griffin. Those guys have been very kind to us and like family over the past several years. Just tell them Grandma sent you. They'll know what that means. Lisa Podolsky, you are at the rescheduled Masters of Illusion show in Calgary. You know what? Me too. But yeah, I shouldn't say that too many times in a row because maybe this will get flagged on Facebook or something like that. You know, you can't say anything anymore on the internet without people losing their minds. So anyways, moving on. Something interesting, though, that I wanted to talk about right out of the gate. Let's get into the show. If you guys tuned in last week, you know, a lot of things that I talk about are conspiracy theories and different things like that. Some of them are pertaining to, like, aliens. Some of them are similar to, like, you know, so-and-so didn't kill himself. Some of them pertain to something that rhymes with shroom. I probably can't even say that out loud either without YouTube or Facebook or whatever flagging it and giving me a slap on the wrist. But we talked about a conspiracy with Chuck E. Cheese. If you guys remember Chuck E. Cheese, I know some of you guys tuning in from Germany or whatever, you probably don't have Chuck E. Cheese because I don't believe they're an international chain. But we had talked about this conspiracy at Chuck E. Cheese, right there where Chuck E. Cheese recycles their pizza. We had some people in the chat last week talking about how they worked there, or they had the family members that have worked there. We even had a regional general manager of a Chuck E. Cheese in the chat last week, and he said that this particular conspiracy about Chuck E. Cheese is not true. So I'll quick try and paraphrase it. The whole conspiracy is that Chuck E. Cheese will recycle and reuse and reserve their pizza. So for example, if you look up photos like this on Google Image, if you look up Chuck E. Cheese pizza conspiracy or even just Chuck E. Cheese pizza, you'll see these photos of pizza like this that doesn't match up. The slices are just all cattywampus. So the conspiracy is that if you go to Chuck E. Cheese, order a pie, you eat it, and you don't finish it, they won't throw it out. They'll take it to the back, set it aside, and then when somebody else orders a pizza again, they'll just sort of harvest the uneaten slices from the pizzas, throw them on the tray, stick it in the oven. Oh, who am I kidding? They'll put it in the microwave, probably still on a metal tray, because I feel like Chuck E. Cheese is about that level of genius. And then they'll heat it up and then reserve it to the people. So you might not even be getting a fresh pizza. They just sort of Frankenstein these pizzas together. And then it ends up looking like this. I mean, look at this. Now you tell me, who cut that? How do you get pizza slices like that? Was there an earthquake? And did the pie slide off the tray and then they all put it back together? I don't know. But so I got information today. One of you guys, a fan, actually posted it on my Facebook that Chuck E. Cheese is possibly filing for bankruptcy. And I can't help but feel that we, the Strange and Unusual Show, all of us, are responsible for the Chuck E. Cheese bankruptcy, because now, after all, whatever 1,000 views that we've had from last week's show, obviously word got out. And we are responsible for the Chuck E. Cheese bankruptcy, as was reported by the Wall Street Journal. So it's real, right? If the Wall Street Journal talks about it. So Chuck E. Cheese supposedly is nearly $1 billion in debt. And every location is possibly set to close if they can't get a $200 million loan. Now, just because, we also have had this lockdown situation happening, lots of companies have suffered, lots of individuals have suffered because of it. That's not a joke. I'm not laughing about that or trying to make light of it, just to be clear. But 17,000 workers were laid off of Chuck E. Cheese at the end of March due to this whole coronavirus situation, which is very sad and unfortunate. And if you were one of those people, I'm sorry to hear about that. That sucks. I totally can understand where you're coming from in that, because I work in entertainment and I'm a magician. But sorry to hear about that. But I can't help, like I said, but to feel we are responsible for Chuck E. Cheese closing, because we talked about this whole conspiracy of the pies being all cattywampus. Certainly it has nothing to do with pee-pee in the ball pits and overpriced games where you need 10 million tickets. You probably need more tickets at Chuck E. Cheese than the dollars in debt that they are just to get a little plastic garbage bag parachute army man or a pair of plastic vampire teeth. I don't know. That's just a guess, but that's just a guess. But let's talk about something that is good news. Theme parks are opening back up. Theme parks opening back up. Disney's back. Universal Studios is back. And that other place, SeaWorld. I was never into SeaWorld anyways, even before Blackfish came out. I don't know about you guys. I didn't even watch Blackfish because it just, I just can't. I can't watch anything like that having to do with animals. And even a couple weeks ago when we briefly touched on that Luca Magnotta piece of garbage, and don't even look him up. Like, don't even give him the satisfaction of getting his name searched out on anything. Just pretend I didn't say his name. So I just can't watch that stuff. But even before that came out, even before that Blackfish thing came out, I was not into SeaWorld at all. I didn't get it. I just wasn't into it. But I guess they're back and they're open and they're trying to, whatever, do whatever they're doing to help their reputation as best they can, which is kind of the real crime of 2020 or the late 2010s is that SeaWorld gets the doors blown open on how terrible of people they were, but yet Chuck E. Cheese is possibly going to no longer be with us. Almost going to go the way of oh my God, what was the one that was in the Midwest all the time? Not Circus Pizza. There was another one. 5-Star Pizza. No, that's in Colon, Michigan. Son of a bitch. What the hell was the one? I went to it like twice. It's more so like they were around Chicago and stuff like that. But same thing. They had like the weird Five Nights at Freddy characters and all the the scary possessed robots. So it's never fun when things like that are nostalgic end up going away. And really quick, speaking of nostalgia, as I usually do, have a coffee or whatever. Last week, I was drinking a suicide soda from AM/PM. Nope, never mind. I was drinking a mixed up soda from AM/PM. Probably can't say. Showtime Pizza. Thank you, Jonathan Bryce, in the chat. Showtime Pizza. That's the one. Anyways, I can't say the schmooshmide word because, again, the internet people are crazy. They take things out of context. No, not Peter Piper Pizza. But speaking of nostalgia, though, at Chuck E. Cheese, I was at the gas station on my way here, and instead of coffee, we are drinking, and I found this. I didn't even know they had this out here. I didn't even know this was even around or even necessarily popular anymore. But I found this. This is a big old 2-liter of RC Cola. I don't know if you guys ever remember RC Cola. If you've had it, it stands for Royal Crown, and it's not It's not like Royal Crown, like is in the alcoholic sort of situation. It's Royal Crown Cola. And I found this and I'm drinking it right now, 99 cents for a 2 liter. That's probably why I remember this from when I was a kid. We used to get these in a can. I remember we used to get RC Cola in a can and Dad's root beer in a can. And I used to sneak them because, you know, as a kid, you weren't allowed to just go willy-nilly, grab yourself a soda out of the fridge because it rots your teeth and all of that. So I would sneak these cans of RC Cola and Dad root beer, and I would shotgun them in the backyard. I don't know why, for some reason, I was really into that. So I would sneak a Bic pen and I'd shake up the can of soda, right? And then I'd, stab it with the Bic pen, watch it spray everywhere, and I would just, shoot it around like I was a fireman or whatever. And then I'd just, just spray it into my mouth like a lunatic, I guess. That's what I did by myself, having fun. Tony Jacobs, yeah. 12 packs for both James McFarlane. Yeah, RC Cola still exists. I was surprised to see it too. So, Prost, cheers to you guys for tuning in. Friends will come and friends will go. Friends will peter out. We'll be friends through thick and thin. Peter's out or Peter's in. Oh man, Lori Pierce, what about Tab? I didn't really remember having Tab. We did have it. I do remember drinking Tab. I can't really tell much about it. I don't really remember much about drinking Tab. I couldn't even tell you what it tastes like. I couldn't even tell you what RC tastes like initially until I drank it again. It just kind of tastes like cola. And I'll be honest and watch the chat blow up about this. I'm gonna blow your minds. I like the flavor of diet soda more than regular soda. So there you go. There you go. Everybody get angry at me now. But I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear about the aspartame. I don't want to hear about any of that stuff. There's so much garbage and everything that we put in our bodies already. Who gives a shit if it's diet cola or diet soda or not? Like Diet Coke, Diet Mountain Dew, you have me at hello. That's my jam. Anyway, so that's enough about some nostalgia and stuff. Let's get into some magic stuff, right? So every week now, I've been featuring this sort of little segment that's fairly new. I've been calling it Old School Magic, and this is where I then I would love Tab. Okay, Lori, I would love Tab. All right, well I'll have to dig around for Tab, or maybe I'll have to special order it. Like I have to special order my Surge and Water Joe. But anyways, Old School Magic. This is where I like to feature and showcase really classy magic. Really old school, the good stuff that you don't really see anymore, mainly because these guys are dead. And also because just times have changed, style has changed, but that doesn't mean that people like me don't stand on the shoulders of giants. And I like to feature these guys that are giants. Even though they have passed away, they have set standards, they have changed magic in many ways, some more apparent to, I guess, the general regular world, the Muggle world, more so than maybe others have, but they all are worthy of being sort of featured. And this week we're showcasing this guy over here. His name's Channing Pollock. Channing Pollock was a magician that went to this place that I had spoken of a few years ago. Rescue Water, that's right, David, Rescue Water. I love Rescue Water. It saved my life many times, especially on tour. So Channing, he was an old school Chavez guy. Back when I talked about Norm Nielsen a few weeks ago, I had mentioned Norm Nielsen. I mentioned Chavez, classic manipulation, tails, the top hat, gloves, that kind of thing. Channing was famous for that, as well as really bringing dove magic to the forefront and making it popular for magicians. And that happened when he was featured in a movie called European Nights. This was old school movie. It came out originally in 1959. And we're going to check out a clip of European Nights that is remastered. It's been remastered and it is in color, so you can actually get a little bit more of an idea of what it looked like back then. Now, again, this is old school stuff here, so it moves a little slower. It's not as big and flashy. There aren't fancy moving lights and fog or anything like that. We have more stuff happening in our phones and how we're even watching and interacting right now than they had plugged into a wall in 1959 on the stage, and even the cameras they used to film this movie. So check this out, this old school video of Channing Pollock in European Nights. Sit back, relax, get your RC Cola, get your Diet Coke or your Diet Mountain Dew, your Rescue Water, your Water Joe, any of that stuff, and check this out. Like, this is badass stuff. I mean, I'm just gonna say it. This is some badass stuff right here. This guy's gonna floor you, throw you back in your chair, and once you've picked up your jaw, we'll keep moving on. So check out the Grandmaster MF Channing Pollock.
Sweet. Old world charm at its finest. This gentleman has given up an evening of fun just to take his niece out. Here. In London, the smart thing to do after theater is the supper club, and here we have the handsomest man in Europe and elsewhere, and one of the best magicians in the world, Channing Pollock. The cameras shoot this in slow motion, and yet...
So yeah, so that was the man. That was Channing Pollock. So you guys can get a little taste of that. Lisa, yeah, so smooth, sleight of hand, and what a dapper fellow What a dapper fellow. Like I said, you just don't see magic like that anymore because, of course, you know, times have changed as well. But that guy just, you know, changed cabaret magic in general, all in all. And inspired, you know, next generations of people like Shimada, Chenkai, Lance Burton, Joseph. I mean, it became a domino effect. So many people, and through those 6 degrees of Channing Pollock, that's what inspired me to get into that kind of magic as well. So big shout out to the late, great Channing Pollock, because awesome guy, yeah. Rolando, Mr. Pollock was one classy mofo. That's right. Yeah, unfortunately, he passed away in, I forget, it was in the late 90s, later 90s from what I remember, or was it early 2000s? I'll have to look that up again. Unfortunately, I never got to meet him, but definitely great talent, great guy. Something though, speaking of, you know, cards and magic and things like that, something that's really cool that I've been doing that I wanted to talk about was something that I got asked to do because I want to extend this offer to anybody else that's watching this, any of you guys, any of you African bastards all over the world working in any sort of, public sort of thing like summer camps or anything like that. I got asked by one of the fans that's always around here, both on my stream and the Anti-Gaming Gaming Show stream, Donna Forbes. The Forbes family have been huge supporters of me over the years. Incredible people, a very gracious family, and I'm in debt to them in more ways than one for more things than one. And Donna works with the Illinois Prairie District Public Library System, and this is like 25 libraries, I think, over a 250 square mile distance. And she asked me about the section that I do in these live shows. That's the Teach a Trick section. And what they're doing right now, which I think is really great, they're offering and doing a summer reading program. They're doing the summer reading program that's all through like Zoom. It's all virtual. It's all a virtual summer reading program. And one of the things that they're doing is featuring something called Magic Monday, where as part of the reward for them, you know, fulfilling their, I guess, check marks or those, the moments that, or the, whatever it's called, the goals. That's the word I'm looking for. The goals that they're doing in this reading program. Every Monday, we've been working together, and I've been filming my own special Teach a Trick segments for them. This is a little picture of me working on and filming a little quick behind the scenes of something that we filmed just a few days ago, where every Monday I am teaching them how to do a simple magic trick that they can do at home with objects. Basically, it's exactly what we do in the Teach a Trick section of these live streams. And so I thought this was a great idea, and I'm totally like, I'm doing it for free. I'm not getting paid. I want to do it to give back. So if you guys have any connections, anybody in the chat, if you guys are working, you know, with a summer camp or libraries or anything like that over this summer to help kids, you know, stay motivated, help them stay busy, keep them out of trouble, because idle hands are the devil's work, or something like that. I don't know. Whatever that saying is, that's what we've been doing and working on, and I'm totally down to extend that to anybody else watching this, watching the show, watching all of this, and maybe you know somebody. Hit me up, info@dansperry.com. Totally cool with extending this offer to you guys as well. But I got to give a shout out to Donna Forbes. Usually she's also Mensa Mom in the chat. There's Donna. Okay, there's Donna in the chat. I see you now. There's Donna. Everybody give Donna a thumbs up. Give her a heart as a thank you, because that's very cool of her and everything that they're doing. I think it's great. So if you guys are involved in anything like that, hit me up, info@dansperry.com, and I'll totally hook you up. We'll talk about what we can do to make this work for whatever program you are working on. But that actually leads us to another section that everybody loves. It's time for Teach a Trick time. It's Teach. So the Teach a Trick section of these live chat shows, of these live interactive shows, is where each week I put together a very simple magic trick that's for all ages that I teach to you guys, so you can share it and show it to your family, your friends, complete strangers, however you want. And even if maybe these things are not something that you would be interested in doing, please by all means show them, post this to somebody else's page or anything like that if they have kids, or not even just for kids. This is stuff that I try to make for all ages so that you guys can learn something cool that you can have with you or learn to do in any situation and share some magic with some people. So I think, I think that's important. I want to teach you guys how to do something real simple right now. All you need for this is I got a mug. I got a mug here from Chicago. Speaking of when I used to live in Chicago, again, shout out to the Forbes family. This is a mug that I've had for years from when I used to live there. It says, "What happens in Chicago stays in Chicago." Nope, not really, but whatever. So you just need a mug, just a simple coffee mug, nothing going on in there. And then we also need a shot, but this is just going to be a shot of water. Shot of water. But you can also, if you're at a bar or something, you can use any other sort of, you can use an alcoholic shot if you like. But we have this little shot of water that I'm going to pour into the mug. You can see it's actually real. That was terrible. Most of it ended up on the floor. But I pour it into the mug so you can see that the water is in fact real. Inside the mug goes the water. After a few moments, all you have to do, or you can say magic words, however you want to do it. If this was an alcoholic shot, you could just say, "Boy, that's a stiff shot. Usually when I drink that, I feel stoned." Or whatever. I mean, make up your own bits. But that's when the water actually disappears and it turns into an actual rock and the water's gone. You can also have this turn into ice. We were going to have it turned into an ice cube, but somebody forgot to bring ice today because they got distracted by seeing the RC Cola at the gas station. So try it with ice or try it with a rock. I don't care. Hey, we all make mistakes. Go fuck yourself. So it doesn't matter. So in order to make this work, very simple. All you have to do is get yourself a mug. It's an ordinary mug, and then you stuff it with paper towel. You just don't want anybody to see that there's paper towel shoved in the bottom of the mug. You can also use a sponge or something like that, but I'm using just a whole wad of paper towel. Or if you want, you can cut a maxi pad if you're into that, or a diaper. Cut down a diaper or whatever. I'm just shoving, like I said, paper towel down inside the mug. Once that's shoved in there, you stick your ice cube, or in this case, a rock that I found on the road. That goes inside. You want to be careful that it doesn't clink around in there too much. So I actually shove it on the far side. You can kind of see it. It's actually right there on the far side of the mug, using the paper towel to sort of hold it in place so it doesn't roll around like this and make noise, because that's what we like to call in the business a spoiler alert. And so you want to shove the rock or the ice cube down in there. Then you get your shot of whatever. In this case, I just used water, but you do you. Milk, orange juice, vodka, comrade, whatever. So we used water. It makes more sense using water and having it turn into ice. But you could also pour the water in and say like, "Boy, this is some hard water. You need a water softener. Look at this shit. Jesus." And then have the rock fall out if you like. I mean, you do you. You do you. This is where you get to be as creative as you want. And it's out of my hands and that's none of my business. But so you shove it in, the rock's in there. When you pour the water inside, you're actually just pouring the water onto the paper towel. You give it a minute so that it can really soak it up and absorb it. And then when you've said your magic words, or however you want to go about it, snap your fingers, tap the glass, whatever you want. You turn the mug upside down. The ice cube or the rock falls out. All the water stays inside with the paper towel. Just whatever you do. You don't want to show people the paper towel on the inside. Or I did try this once where I put a little note on the inside, and I went up to somebody as I was teaching this one time before, and I said, "Here, hold this. It's just a little glass of water. Just make sure that's real water, etc. Hey, look inside. It's just a mug." And when they looked inside, it was a little post-it note that just said like, "Shut the fuck up" or something. Don't talk about the paper towel or something like that. And it worked. I mean, I don't know. You do you, however you want to do it. But that's an easy magic trick that you can do literally in a few minutes. Get yourself a rock. Get yourself a rock from the road. By the way, you go outside, you get a real rock. We're not promoting any other kinds of rocks over here, because it's Facebook and the internet, and you can't have fun on the internet anymore. So have fun with it. Practice it. get used to it before you actually show it to anybody so that you don't make any mistakes. So that's a quick little teach a trick segment that you guys can enjoy. So have fun with it. Now, speaking of, teaching, tricks and magic tricks, things that magicians use with their magic tricks, decks of cards is always something that magicians have, that magicians utilize, and that is going to make sense in a minute, because as I've talked before and tried to showcase before, there are many fans. I've posted on my Instagram. You've probably seen it even on Facebook, getting reposted through my Instagram. Fans all over the world, you guys are incredibly, incredibly talented. In fact, I just posted a photo yesterday of another fan that got a tattoo on her arm. I don't know if you saw it. You can check it out at Dan Sperry on Instagram, and that blows me away when you guys do that. That I'm so honored, and I get speechless. I just can't believe that so many of you have done that and continue to do it. It's amazing. So thank you. That makes me just floors me. It floors me that you guys do that. I appreciate it so much beyond words. And the talent. Also, I said, so many of you are so talented. That's why I always try to repost or try to share your fan art and things like that. And the actual tattoo, the portrait that this fan got done, was painted by Sebastian Nabel. He's a German artist. He's incredible. He's tagged in it as well. Be sure to give Sebastian a follow, because he's really, really amazing. The stuff that he's done and created over the years, not just of me, but just of all of his artwork. I've seen him. It's been almost 10 years, which is weird to think about. I've known this guy and following his stuff for 10 years. And just, he was amazing back then. And to see it grow is incredible. And so that's why I wanted to feature this today. I just got photos of this today, actually. And I was floored. Using just a deck of cards. This is my deck of cards, my Inventorum deck. This fan, he's known as Diesel Illusions on Instagram. You can check him out. His real name is Kyle McIntosh. Mr. Macintosh? Like Disney's blank check, Mr. Macintosh. But he created these images that are amazing. He created what's in these images that are just amazing. These are hand cut. He took this deck, well, not this one, but he took a deck of my playing cards that I designed, and he's made 6 of these so far. He goes through and he cuts every card individually with liberty and justice for all. He cuts them individually, and he layers them back into the box and makes this incredible 3D art. Like, look at this. He says it takes him between 8 to 12 hours per deck. He's featured several different famous custom decks of cards. And again, I'm honored that he chose to use my Inventorum deck and made this. And I love how he didn't keep the edges straight. I love how you can see the high contrast of the white and black. These almost look like, if you didn't see the depth of them, it almost looks like it was like aggressive scribbles, like it was like a fine point pen and paper drawing. Kate Swanson, his Instagram is Diesel, like Diesel, Diesel Illusions. And I believe it's just all one word. Kyle, I think you were in the chat. I saw you pop up earlier. If you're in there, let us know and drop your Instagram in the chat, please, so that people can give you. There it is. It's underscore. Or I'm sorry, I didn't know you had another one. Diesel underscore illusions or deck.cuts. I guess that's the ghost account, or well, not anymore. But really, I mean, look at this incredible stuff that he's made with these decks. And like I said, this is just my deck. He's done this with so many different ones. It's really, truly amazing. And he deserves some shout outs, some follows. Actually, everybody slam the heart, slam the thumbs up in the chat. So that we know that you guys like this, that you guys are checking it out. Give him an old slammer jammer of a thumbs up, of a like, etc., so that I know that you guys like it. I want to see those hearts bubble up. I want to see them bubble up like a fart in a bathtub. So you can show Kyle, Mr. Macintosh from Blank Check, some love. He's actually not the kid from Blank Check. I just felt weird that I don't even know how to pronounce his last name. MCIN McIntosh. Macintosh, whatever, I don't know. Yeah, put that on a glass window. Yeah, and Jonathan Bryce in the chat. He was actually the guy that I saw originally posting some of this stuff. I mean, really amazing work. Great work, dude. Really great work. So, and thank you for using my deck in your latest project, man. Really awesome stuff. So now we're gonna take a section, a little side street away from magic. And as always in these live streams, this is where I start talking about, we always talk about things that are strange and unusual. That's why it's called the Strange and Unusual Show. And this week, this segment, we have a new one for what we like to call this week UFO sightings. This is where I find some interesting UFO clips. Macintosh. So it is Mr. Macintosh. Kyle is Mr. Macintosh from Blank Check. All right, anyway, so this is where I, like I said, try to find some interesting UFO clips, and they're actually hard to scrub through sometimes because so many of them just look stupid. But I don't know whether if you're a believer or a non-believer. I, in particular, am a believer. I like to sort of, a friend of mine, Crow Garrett, used this word once, and I loved it, and I agree. I'm a possibilist, where it's anything is possible. This isn't even focused on just religion or UFOs or whatever conspiracy. I think it's a blanket statement and a blanket way to live by. Yeah, a possibilist, and I believe that we definitely are not alone. And this is why I love to share and look at some of these clips that I find, and especially even talk about it with you guys and get your opinions, because that's the best way. That's what we do. That's how we communicate. That's how, whether we agree or disagree, we can agree to disagree. Like, why can't we just get together? Why can't we work together and just have a discussion? So that's what we're going to do right now as I show you this week's clip in UFO sightings. Get it? So this week in UFO sightings, this clip actually comes from a video that was taken from the feed of the International Space Station. I don't know if you guys follow this a lot or anything, but there are cameras on the ISS, and they are constantly recording and streaming, and there are many people all over the world that just really watch these streams that the ISS has been doing for years now. And they love to analyze things that come across the screen, things that are shown in the background or whatever. And this is a clip from a video that was just released and posted where there is a strange object that you see coming over the horizon of Earth. And it's in the far distance, but the size of it, we can't make out exactly what size it is. It's moving too slow to be a meteor or anything like that. But you know what? I'm just going to show it right now. Let's have a look. Guys, watch closely. Listen to the narrator, because he will help sort of draw attention to where you're going to want to look. So check this out. Look closely, and then let's talk about it.
This is not the moon. This is not the moon, guys. This is a UFO. There's nothing out there that big that it could be that we know of yet. There is Elon Musk's car, his $200,000 roadster, is sailing around Mars area in orbit, but it is not around Earth. It shouldn't be orbiting Earth. If it does rain down, I'd like it to rain down, then parachute right over my house and land in my garage. But this looks like a multicolor UFO, and as you see, it's changing a lot of different colors right there in front of your eyes. Here is the 100% original, and as you see in the upper right corner, there is a small white orb coming around Earth's orbit and rising up. Now, if this was the moon, it would be, like I said, 15 times larger than this, and I've seen the moon many other times. Looks like there's another object right over here, but this one is quite unique. Look at that. The detail of it is incredible, and I'll show you a super extreme close-up in just a second. This whole thing took 3 minutes to transcend, to go across. This is not the moon. This is not the moon, guys. This is a UFO. There's nothing out there that big that it could be that we know of yet. There is Elon Musk's car, his $200,000 Roadster, is sailing around Mars area in orbit, but it is not around Earth. It shouldn't be orbiting Earth. If it does rain down, I'd like it to rain down, then parachute right over my house and land in my garage. But
so you at least can get an idea. We don't need to watch the whole thing because it's obviously it's a stationary camera on the ISS. The object is so far away. As you saw, it's really hard to make out exactly what it is. Lori Pierce thought he said Elon Musk, or wait, Elon Musk. What are you trying to say? No, I think did he misspeak? I didn't catch that. But no, it's definitely not anything. It's not Elon Musk's car. Could it be Ellen? But probably, because I'm pretty sure Ellen is an alien, or at least a reptilian, close enough. She definitely drinks baby blood and does all that weird spirit cooking stuff. So, but so looking at that, it's a finger. But no, it's not a finger, Lori. But Diana Marie, what's up, Diana Marie? I see you in the chat there. But I see this one again. We've talked about orbs because I find them so bizarre about what people think they could be. I don't put this in the category of orbs though. I think that this is actually just some weird thing, space junk, and I think the changing colors could possibly be that it's in like a tumble. It's in like a tumble or a rotation, and it's misshapen, so it's catching different light reflections and stuff like that. Linda, it could be a satellite, I guess, which would make sense for the color changing and things, but it doesn't appear to be really move. It appears to be staying the same size. It doesn't, and it just appears to be like it is in orbit. So that's what I'm not sure, because this is where I don't fully understand, and I don't pretend to understand how satellites work in low Earth orbit or any sort of orbit like that. Because was it coming in a counterclockwise or clockwise direction to the ISS at a different rate of speed? Was it actually just going vertical? Was it leaving our atmosphere and just staying at a straight line? And that's why it looked like it was coming over the horizon. Jonathan Bryce, you think radiated space dust? Yeah, could be. I don't know. I've never heard of radiated space dust. I heard of swamp gas, but never radiated space dust. So who knows? This one, exactly. And that's what I thought, Marine. Marine said could be space garbage from old satellites or lunar modules. I think that it could be exactly, Linda, flipping, tumbling. That's why it's picking up different colors. You're right, Lisa. It's bigger than a satellite, though. But we don't know for sure. That's the thing. We don't know for sure if it is bigger than a satellite. It's in the sort of coverage and stuff. It's thought to be as big as the International Space Station. So, but this is the one where I really have no idea what we're looking at, where I can't, sometimes in the past I've been like, could that be a drone? Or what could that be? Glow sticks attached to a helium balloon, whatever. This I don't know. And sometimes that's all right. I think sometimes it's all right to not really know and to admit that we don't know, right? Exactly, Lori. It's so hard these days to know what's real and what is not. Exactly. Yeah, we just don't know. It's hard to tell the difference. It's hard to even make a guess because there is so much going on in the government behind the scenes. There's so much going on that we don't know about and we will never know about. And that's what I find so interesting about this as well. These topics of conspiracy and whatever. And I appreciate you guys always tuning in and having this fun discussion and sort of going on this adventure with me as we look at these, different videos and cover different conspiracies. Because most of the time, and I don't know about you, you can talk about anything. You can talk about and have different opinions of religion. You can talk about and have different opinions in politics most of the time if you're not a psycho. But for some reason, conspiracy though, you start talking about conspiracy and people take it so personal. They take it so personal. They're like, get away from me. I don't want to talk about, that or whatever. Like it's weird, you talk about anything conspiracy and people take it so personal. And so that's why I love getting to share some of this stuff and being able to talk about it with you guys and just spitball and brainstorm. What could this stuff be? You're right. It could be a space bug on the windshield. Could be a speck of dust on the lens. Exactly. Could be an ice chunk. Like, who really knows? So Donna, somebody has to keep you out of the insanity car on the crazy train. What does that mean? But I mean, this one, I have no idea what it could be. I have no idea what it could be. And what is interesting too is the ISS kept the feed running, because usually when unexplained things have been spotted on the ISS feeds, they will, and they have in the past, randomly, just as something's coming into frame. I mean, look it up. It's happened more times than not where they'll just stop. They'll stop the feed, or they'll cut to a different camera or anything. Lori, you said I lost the sound. Came back. Okay, so I don't know. Maybe it was me. Maybe it was you. Maybe it was both of us. Maybe it was the aliens. It's usually, okay, is it just me, or is it every time we start talking about this weird stuff in the show, something technical goes weird? Like, remember a couple weeks ago, we were talking about some other conspiracy stuff, and the feed went out. And that I'm not saying that that's actually what's happening, but again, who knows? But there is something, though, that is interesting, that is unexplainable, that I've been fascinated about. And if anybody in the chat right now is from Florida, throw me a heart, give me a thumbs up in the chat, give me a heart in the chat so I can see how many people are from Florida. I'm going to do it so you see what I'm talking about. Little thumbs up, little hearts blowing up there. Give me some of those if you're watching this on mobile. Give me some thumbs and hearts like this so everybody can see what I'm talking about. It's got to look like that so that I know that that some of you guys are from Florida, because this actually takes place. This takes place in Florida, this next sort of UFO conspiracy thing that I'm talking about. And if you are from Florida, I want to know if you know anything further about the outcome of this story. So this is a replica that I have of something that happened in Florida known as the Betts Sphere. The Betts Sphere was something that was discovered in Florida. This is an actual picture over here. You can see the Betts Sphere right there. It's black and white because this was discovered in 1974 by Terry Betts. And it was this bizarre, weird orb that he found on his property. And what happened was there was this mysterious fire on his property in Florida. He had some, an island type property, and they were cleaning up some of the damage. Basically, they were cleaning up some of the damage and debris from this fire, and they discovered, buried underneath the ground, they discovered this orb, this really weird orb that was unexplainable. They didn't know what it was. Was it an old cannonball? Was it a satellite? What could it be? What could it be? It wasn't any kind of metal that they were aware of, anything like that. But it was just perfectly round, aged out, as you can see in the photos. This perfectly round, very old, clearly very old sphere. He took it home because it was like, oh, look what I found, blah blah blah. Put it on the shelf, right? Put it on the shelf. Let it sit there for a minute. Don't start acting like the sphere now in real life. This scare me. We'll use this nice fancy display that I just happened to find. So he put it on his shelf. It didn't do anything. And he had a buddy over, and they were just jamming and on their acoustic guitar or whatever. And as they were plucking notes, the sphere reportedly started to vibrate. It started to vibrate and move and react to the notes, almost reverberate back the notes that were being played and plucked on this guitar. So they were obviously already like, well, what's going on with this weird sphere there, Terry, that you found, and why is it doing this? It would intelligently move around the room. It would roll around the room. If you walked past it, it would follow you almost like a puppy, and it would intelligently be able to change direction as these people moved around and interacted with this mysterious sphere. So now they're getting freaked out. Is it possessed? Is it a religious thing that's, from some satanic Luciferian cursed what have you? Who knows? They would put it on a table. and it would roll on the table, and it would stop just before rolling off the edge of the table. It had this whole, like I said, it moved and it interacted intelligently. Unexplained. They called anybody they knew. Obviously it was reported in the news. It was a real thing. People, of course, back then, as well as today, thought maybe this was a hoax. So to sort of prove that the Betts family wasn't, a bunch of Looney Tunes, they got the military and NASA involved. They both inspected it. They couldn't tell what it would. Lisa, my phone just flipped over on the table for no reason. Okay, Lisa. Earthquake, maybe. But no, I'm joking. If it did, that's scary. You're going to have to move and burn the house down. But the military and NASA didn't know what it was. Then they went to the local Navy base. The Navy base did some tests and x-rays on the sphere. And through this, they discovered that there were actually two smaller spheres inside the main sphere, the external sphere, right? So they don't know, they don't know what it's made out of. They don't know what's inside. They didn't know how it was even made because of the perfectness, how it was so perfectly spherical. They had no idea how the sphere was even made. They couldn't tell how old it was, couldn't tell what it was made out of. They also discovered that it had magnetic poles, but these poles would actually shift and move around the circumference of the sphere. Not only that, it was even emitting radio waves. So could it be nuclear? Who knows? It's very bizarre. And suddenly, out of nowhere and over the years, the story kind of got forgotten and the sphere has disappeared. Nobody knows what happened to the sphere. The Betts family, Terry, don't like talking about it. They don't really talk about it anymore. I don't believe that this is a hoax. And if anybody in Florida remembers hearing the story of the Betts sphere, if anybody in Florida remembers anything about hearing this, if you were growing up there or if you had moved there and people still talked about it, I would like to know more because I'm actually researching it for a new bit that I'm working on, a new routine that I'm working on for my show involving the Betts sphere. And I want to know more and as much as I can. So I wanted to mention that to you guys. Take a look, do some research if you're from Florida. Anything that you guys can pass along to me, let me know. Hit me up, info@dansperry.com. Spooky. Now, every week as well, not only am I doing this live stream, I also do a weekly thing that's been on my YouTube. I also post it on my Facebook as well. It is what I like to call anti-conjuror story time. And I wanted to talk about it really quick this week because I talk about it in the past as well. This week, I actually posted it. You can find it on my YouTube, youtube.com/DanSperryOfficial. You can find me on YouTube with all of the past anti-conjuror story times that I've been reading and posting. And this week, I did a feature of this book. It is another fan-submitted book that I wanted to share with you guys because obviously anything you guys do, just like with Diesel Illusions decks, Tony Jacobs, what's the name of the sphere again? The Betts Sphere, B-E-T-Z, Betts Sphere, because the last name of the family was Betts. The guy who discovered it, his name was Terry Betts. And so I wanted to, feature this book and give a shout out about it. It's called My Parents Aren't Noobs. And this is the book that I read for this week's Anti-Conjuror Story Time. And this is a fan-submitted book written by Michelle Nogueira. And again, I'm not sure if I'm even saying that name right. And I apologize if I'm not. But this is a great book because it's a book not just for children. Because, most of these books, it's been, Anti-Conjuror Story Time where a goth reads children's books. This is a children's book, but it's actually also a book for families, the whole family, so that it promotes, interacting as a family, especially if you have a kid that, or if, I guess honestly, it doesn't even have to be a kid. If you have a family member that is way into video games, I'm sure you guys, if you don't have this in your own family, maybe you know a family that has this sort of issue where the kid or somebody is constantly got their head in their phone or on their Game Boy or something like that, and they're not necessarily interacting socially, and they don't know how to relate to the family because maybe they're not into sports, maybe they're not into whatever, boxcar racing or anything like that. This is a great story because it's about, you know, a kid that plays video games. The family he has a sister, the daughter is into soccer, and how they can come together as a family to really, everybody can interact together, get outside, do things together, and also be able to give attention to each of the kids. Laurie Pierce, most kids these days, some adults, yeah, that's true. There's still some adults that could use this book. You're not wrong. Oh, sorry, Mike, what was the website for the cut deck of cards? It's on Instagram. It's Diesel_Illusions. But this is it. This is My Parents Aren't Noobs. You can look it up and get your own copy. I definitely recommend it. I really liked this one because I did appreciate the message. I had a family member that could have used this book when we were growing up. That's for goddamn sure. So check it out, My Parents Aren't Noobs. You can check out me reading My Parents Aren't Noobs on my YouTube page and share that with anybody as well that you think would like to learn more about this book. It's a great book. Check it out. Find it online, My Parents Aren't Noobs. And what's also cool is 50% of the net proceeds from the sale of each book is split between the Children's Foundations of Guelph and Wellington and the Wilson Education Resource Center. These are two organizations that are really focused on caring for the health and well-being of children and youth. So not only are you getting a book that's got a great message, you are also supporting organizations that are focused on helping kids and you know, dealing with this sort of introvertedness, I guess, for lack of a better word. I don't know the technical word on how to call it. Introvertedness, introverseness, intravenous. I don't know. Maybe there's some of that too. Suppository. So, God damn it. What am I saying? So anyways. But speaking of video games, I like to give a shout out every live stream to another live stream and about another live stream that I do with my buddies every Wednesday, and we do it twice a week, but it's for sure right now every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. on twitch.tv. You can watch the Anti-Gaming Show. That's me and my buddies gaming and basically messing with each other the whole time we're playing video games. We suck at video games. We're not gamers. We just started learning how to play Fortnite in the lockdown and had this crazy idea for this interactive gaming show. And instead of me describing it and trying to describe it to you, I thought maybe it would be better for me just to show it to you. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to play the video so you can learn more about what the Anti-Gaming Show is. Check it out.
Right, so by now I can imagine that you're probably thinking, what in the f*** am I watching? Well, dear viewer, worry not. Let us try and explain a few things to help you maximize your viewing experience. You see, the Anti-Gaming Show is not your everyday stream. How is this so, you might ask? Elementary, my dear Watson. These guys are f***ing nuts and are fully aware of it. As you continue to observe the squad endure challenges and wheel spins, you might get the thought that you'd like to join in on the fun, live, during the show. Well, it couldn't be simpler. If you're watching on Twitch, simply click the button that says Submit a Challenge. On the other hand, if you're the gambling type and would like to spin the wheel of death, click the appropriate button. You can also check the video description for links as well. You'll be magically whisked away through the interwebs to a website which will allow you to submit your challenge. Oh hey look, the website also has some really fantastic merch for you to buy. Right, back to the challenge. Everything from the fan-favourite Cinnamon Challenge to the dreaded Dizzy Bat and Electroshock Roulette Challenge. It's all here. You see, it's really quite simple for you to get involved. Now, go out there and sabotage some games. If you're tired of the same old boring streams, then you clearly haven't watched the Anti-Gaming Show, the internet's most outrageous and interactive show. Visit www.antigaminggamingshow.com for more information, and also that sweet, sweet merch. Right.
So that's the Anti-Gaming Show. To give you guys an idea of what we're doing, you can catch us tomorrow at twitch.tv/antigaminggaming show or as put in the chat there, antigaminggamingshow.com for more information and news of when we are going to be going live. But you can also hear it here as well tomorrow, 6 p.m. Pacific time. You can tune in and watch us and mess with us as we also unlock new challenges, because there's going to be a new Fortnite map. So we even have no idea, I guess that's the right way to put it. We furthermore have no idea what we're doing or what we're talking about, but you can tune in and watch us learn about the new maps and try to figure them out and navigate our way through it, as at the same time getting messed with. I know we have some Anti-Gaming Gaming Show fans in the chat that I've seen, so thanks for tuning in, guys, on that as well. Now, as we're about to wind down and close up with everything, that means it is time for everybody's favorite thing in the world, which is homework. It's homework time. So, last week I had talked about the homework for this week was to watch the movie The Shining. The Shining, the great Stanley Kubrick movie. You know, all of his movies are great, but this is probably one of his best movies and best known movies, as well as, well, some others, but maybe we don't talk about those ones. But The Shining, we had talked about last week to watch The Shining for this week. Check out The Shining and what your thoughts and opinions were on if there are in fact ghosts even in The Shining. Because there's this whole theory that there aren't ghosts, that Danny Torrance is actually shining and projecting these images and these experiences onto his parents, and that Jack Torrance, the father, Jack Nicholson's character, actually shines as well, but doesn't realize it because nobody explained to him what shining was. That's why he has to drink, because as long as he drinks alcohol, that actually blocks out people that do shine from being able to get in his head and create these manifests. So because Jack has the shining, he uses the alcohol to block out his son from infiltrating his mind with the shining. And since he's sober, when this is happening and all this is going on at the Overlook Hotel, that's how all of these things are being manifested. Jack actually isn't seeing ghosts. Wendy actually isn't seeing ghosts. Even Danny isn't seeing ghosts because they're all manifestations in his head. If you guys watched it as part of the homework with that in mind, I'm curious as to what your thoughts were. We had a great discussion about this last week. So hopefully, if you guys were able to watch it, check it out with that in mind. I'd love to hear what you have to think about it. Now, also talking about ghosts, this week's homework is a classic. Donald Bryce, next time I'm in Vegas, I'll have to tell you my shining story from the Rudy Kobe show when we were in Singapore. I'd love to hear it. Or, you know what? If it's allowed and if Rudy's down with it, maybe I'll get you and Rudy on the chat live and you guys can talk about it. Let's see if we can make that happen. I'll hit up Rudy if it's allowed. Lori thinks he is definitely seeing ghosts. So you're not buying it, Lori. You're not buying that it's all just manifestations of little Danny Torrance running rampant with his ability to shine, and which is what caused his dad Jack to go crazy. So yeah, you're right, Donna. It changes the whole scope of the film, and of course, because it's a Stanley Kubrick film, but we'll never know. We'll never know, because that guy was such a mad genius. He snuck so many Easter eggs into so many of his movies. How are we going to ever know? How are we going to ever know? But I love the idea and the theory that it was actually Danny Torrance terrorizing his parents the entire time. Because how is that not fun? I would love to do that. But no, but maybe yes. What? What kind of answer is that? Is that kind of pregnant? Kind of pregnant. I don't know. But, I mean, everybody, again, you're open to your own opinion. I'm not sure that I'm completely sold on this idea either, but there's so much to it that it would make sense. It would totally make sense. And I'm actually more a believer of this idea than not a believer. And so with the thought of ghosts too, I thought we could keep going retro for this week's homework. Keep going retro in the sense that we're going to recommend, and I'm going to recommend another video to watch and to look into that's ghost related. This doesn't have any conspiracy behind it, at least that I'm aware of. but it's just a great video, and there's more leaks coming out about the next installment, part 3 of this series. There's part 1, there's part 2, there's the one that nobody talks about because it's a waste of time, waste of money, and it was pure garbage dumpster fire. But now there's part 3, and that is this week's homework to watch the original Ghostbusters.
Ghosts.
Hello, Ghostbusters.
They're real.
You do? You have?
They're here. Ghostbusters.
Hey, anybody see a ghost?
They catch the ghost that won't stay dead. They're armed. They're dangerous.
Try to imagine all life as you know it stopping instantaneously and every molecule in your body exploding at the speed of light.
All right, that's bad. Okay. All right, important safety tip. Thanks, Egon.
They're professionals.
Oh, I'm the chairman of the largest paranormal removal company in America.
You see it?
They're all that stands between you and the end of the world.
The city is headed for a disaster of biblical proportion. Real wrath of God type stuff.
Exactly.
Fire and brimstone coming down from the sky. Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria. Your girlfriend lives in the corner penthouse of Spook Central.
You want this body?
Is this a trick question?
Got your stick? Hold! Get him up! Smoke him! Make him hard! Ready!
Ghostbusters. Starring Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Sigourney Weaver, Harold Ramis, Rick Moranis. Coming to save the world. Ghostbusters.
We came, we saw, we kicked it. Okay, so what a great film. I was too young. I wasn't even born when this came out, but I was too young to even know how great this was when I watched it for the first time as a kid. I loved Ghostbusters. My grandma for Halloween one year helped me make my own Ghostbuster trick-or-treat outfit. We took a kid's blue jumpsuit that I think was part of an astronaut outfit. We totally ripped apart the astronaut costume, and she found a Ghostbusters patch and sewed it on there, and all that, a Christmas present wrapping roll, homemade, proton pack stuff. Man, great memories. What a great movie, but I was too young to even realize how much of I guess you could call it, how much of an oh shit cast this was. What a great cast. The writing, even more so now that I've gotten older, watching it again, great writing, great directing, and I'm very anxious for the new one that's coming out, and I guess it's in 2021 now, Oh, right, yeah, David, I did see that the new one was filmed in Canada. It looks great. That trailer of the new one gave me anxiety, gave me adrenaline, it gave me chills. The new one, even though I'm not the biggest Paul Rudd fan, but you know what? Let him in. And I'm also not a fan of that kid that was in Stranger Things, I guess. That kid with the weird face that looks like the dude that's the front man of All American Rejects. I mean, doesn't that kid look like the midget version of that dude that's the lead singer of All American Rejects? He just got a weird face. But unfortunately, that kid is so typecast as being that goober that I just don't want to see him in anything anymore. Give somebody else, give some other weird looking kid a shot. I don't know. Oh God, going to hell. But the new Ghostbuster movie looks so incredible. I'm so excited for it. Kate Swanson can't unsee that now. I know, right? Swing, swang, swang. But really give some other ugly kid an opportunity. But really, but really though, right, Lori? Okay, anybody else who sees that, hit the heart, hit the thumbs up like I'm doing on my phone. See how I do it? See how we do it? We go boom, 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 boom. You know, if you're in that, if you agree, just slam that stuff because then I know I'm not alone. But I'm so looking forward to that new Ghostbuster movie. I think it's going to be badass. Ivan Reitman's son is directing it. I mean, you just can't get any better than everything. They're doing everything right. If you guys look up even like the Easter egg trailer reviews, there's so much that I still miss that I didn't see the first time or even the second time. I think it's going to be great. It's going to blow the doors open. Blow the doors open. And it's true, officer. This man has no dick. Yeah, so you know what I'm thinking? Actually, Donna, I'm going to want to talk to Chris about this. I want to see how, because the Forbes family would host these really cool and fun watch parties. And I think we should do a get-together maybe this weekend. And let's all do a special edition of the Strange and Unusual show. And if you guys are down, I'm down. Let's watch Ghostbusters together and just have a good time, right? If you're in for it, I'm in for it. We're going to do it. So, and then we'll have it for the homework we can talk about next week on Tuesday. And that's about it. We're coming down to the end. This is where at the very end, we're going to sign off in just a short minute here. But before we do, want to make some announcements. I want to remind you guys tomorrow, 6 p.m. at antigaminggaming.com or just go to twitch.tv/antigaminggaming show. You can see me and my buddies throwing down, getting weird, playing Fortnite, checking out the new maps, which also means new challenges. We got, I don't even want to give anything away, but it's things that are a lot more painful for us. We got so if you're a sadist, you're gonna love this stuff that we're gonna bring to the table here. And yeah, so that's happening tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Pacific time. Eventim.de. All my friends in Germany, all my amazing Abracabastards in Germany. The Distorted Sorcery Tour. Tickets are going up on sale. Some already are up on sale right now. Eventim.de. Check it out to grab your tickets. I cannot wait to come back. I miss you guys. And this time we're going to get even weirder. And dansperry.com for everything else that you guys need. blackmagicwednesdays.com for anything else that you want to know about the Wednesday show and when we are coming back officially. And I'm going to end the show like I always do with throwing out a video or a band or a group or whatever that is maybe not exactly someone or a group that you'd be familiar with. This is one that I wanted to share from Florida, since we were talking about the Betts Sphere found in Florida, and Florida's weird. We know it. We know Florida's weird. So this is a Florida-based band that is definitely bizarre and peculiar. I heard about them 15 plus years ago through a friend of mine that lives in Florida, and he knew the lead guy, I guess you could say, the front man, the brains behind it all. He calls himself Bunny. And this is a band, a group, whatever you want to glob them together as, called Rabbit in the Moon. They are a very strange and unusual industrial psychedelic electro. I mean, you can't even explain it. And this band basically got me hired at Hot Topic. I'll cut to the chase. As I was getting interviewed for Hot Topic, as I was applying there, part of what you had to do was talk about and list some bands that you enjoyed, or musicians that you enjoyed. And one of them that I listed was Rabbit in the Moon. And I'd mentioned I just started listening to these guys, Rabbit in the Moon. I just got into them. It was about 2003. And the manager said, wait a minute, how do you know about Rabbit in the Moon? Because they were very unknown, and really only people in Florida kind of knew about who they were. And I said, well, blah, blah, blah. I told the story because she had moved to Chicago from Florida, had been to see Rabbit in the Moon. So she was blown away, like, oh my God, you know who Rabbit in the Moon is. So that I have no proof that they are responsible for getting me hired at Hot Topic when I worked there for a little bit. But they definitely helped me stand out. So we're going to leave with this band called Rabbit in the Moon. You guys check it out. Hope you enjoy it. Thank you for liking, sharing, tuning in. It means a lot because what we have shared is what's been called your most valuable possession. And that is your time, because it's when something when given away, you can never get it back again. So big shout out and thank you to AV Vegas as always, and for everything, not just this stream, and my other streams, Anti-Gaming Gaming Show, AGGS, and me doing this, all of my tours, Black Magic Wednesday. These guys have hooked me up, helped me out in more ways than one. I owe them a lot. So big shout out to AV Vegas. Thanks to you guys. Much love and appreciate it. Check out Rabbit in the Moon. We'll see you later. Nighty night!